What's going on, guys? I just got back from a 3 hour workout, so I am pretty tired, but I'm gonna make this video for you guys. So, this is how I am going to prepare for the upcoming Sport Car National Convention in Chicago. Here are what I am bringing to the car show, what I will be doing, and just some advice from my past 3 to 4 years of experience going to the National Car Show. So let's get into it. To start off, stay hydrated, right? So 2 years ago, when last national that was held in Chicago, right? The air conditioning was not working, and it was in the middle of July, August, summer with hundreds of thousands of people there. It was so hot in there. I think it got to over 100 degrees throughout the whole weekend. I heard vendors were having stroke, they were passing out of the heat. Obviously, vendors were dripping in sweat. So, you never know what is going to happen. Hopefully, it does not happen like that again this year. But it's always good to stay hydrated. So, bring a lot of water, bring a water bottle. Last couple of years at the National, they do have a water refill station around, like water bottles, water tanks, and stuff like that laying around. But obviously, throughout the weekend with hundreds of thousands of people there, people tend to drink a lot of water, so they always kind of run out of water, and sometimes they don't refill it fast enough. So bring a water bottle with you, stay hydrated. And I like to bring electrolytes. You can buy electrolyte drops on Amazon.com. You can use your Walmart or GMC, stuff like that. They have electrolyte drops you can use. Shout out to Tom Brady, TB12. He has some on his website. He's a big advocate of stay hydrated with electrolytes. So I recommend that. I use those as well. And they have these things that's called Liquid IV, where you can buy. It's like in a powder form, package form. I think they have it in liquid form now, but I think the package is just more convenient, where you can bring with you. You can get those basically anywhere: Walmart, convenience stores, even Costco's. So I recommend that. Stay hydrated. Caffeine, if you don't drink caffeine, good on you. But me personally, I drink a lot of coffee. I'm sure there's a lot of people that drink like 3, 4 cups a day easily. I just drink 1 cup of coffee. But usually, at the National, it's probably gonna be like a 10-hour day plus trade nights. So people are gonna be up from, I say, 7 a.m. to like midnight or even more. Plus, there's casinos around, so people are gonna probably get each other to go gamble and stuff like that. So I might need 2 cups of coffees, maybe some 5-hour energy. Red Bull and Monsters energy drinks, those are nice, but they give you a crazy crash. It's good for like a 3 hour, but me personally, I get terrible crash with energy drinks, so I do not recommend those. I say coffee, tea, and 5-hour energy. I like 5-hour energy. Stay woke. Exercise. So today I did 2.5, 3 miles on the treadmill, and I played basketball for a bit over an hour, and I worked out a little bit. I'm trying to get back in shape, so I've been doing a lot of cardio, and I think that's like one of the things that people don't really take into consideration when they go to car shows. Especially for me, I go to car shows almost every single week. Sometimes I set up as vendor, but sometimes I have to walk the floor. And when you go to big car show, like the last weekend here, I went to Midwest Monster in Fisher, Indiana. It was a pretty big venue with over 700 tables, I believe. And I was glad that I've been doing a lot of cardio, because it definitely helped walking around with your feet tired and stuff like that. The cardio, the training definitely helps. So I recommend, if you guys are going to be walking at the National especially, start working out. Start walking like a mile a day, do a little bit of jogs, get in the gym, start getting exercise, so you have the energy and you won't be as tired. Because if you're like me, I'll be at the National for 5 days, all 5 days, and I will be walking the floor. So I'm probably gonna get over 10,000, if not 20,000 steps a day at the Nationals. So it's gonna be very tiring. So it's better to train and be prepared than be gasping for air, right? And you know what? With that, you gotta have comfortable shoes as well. I know the Yeezys, the Adidas shoes with the air foams, those are pretty popular. But with those comfortable shoes, it does make your feet tired as well throughout the weekend, from my experience. So I've been using a lot of running shoes. Running shoes is good because the shoes that I've got from Nike, they're really really light. It feels like I'm like walking on air basically. It's just so light, so comfortable. They are a little tight, so make sure if you're gonna use it to walk around the show, get it maybe like half a size or a size bigger, and put in those like extra sole cushioning soles in there, and it'll make your feet very comfortable, and you're gonna thank me for it. And of course, a lot of people talk about deodorant and cologne. Please, please shower, wear deodorant, have cologne on, bring gum with you, because you're gonna be walking around, you're gonna be sweating, thousands of people there sweating, and you know what? You're gonna be eating. You're gonna eat breakfast. You're gonna eat lunch. You're gonna eat dinner. You gotta eat throughout the day if you're there from morning to close, right? So bring some gum with you. After you're done eating, bring some floss. Maybe bring like a portable deodorant and like a small cologne bottle to spray on. And even if there's somebody around you that stinks, you can spray them real fast, I bet a lot of vendors would thank you for that. So with that, you're gonna be negotiating with people. You're gonna be talking with lots and lots of people, and trust me, it really helps if you smell a little good. Like if you have gum, you talk to people, you negotiating, people will be more willing to negotiate with you, because if you're like stinking, like people are gonna like try to get you out there as fast as possible because they don't want to like talk to you no more. If you stink in there, people aren't gonna really want you to stand around their table, because you're gonna scare all the customers away. And you know what? Nobody wants to smell a skunk. So I think that is a must. And let's get on to the negotiation part of this. So negotiating, I think from my experience, being nice, being friendly goes a long way. A lot of people just go around, be like, hey, how much is this, how much is this? You see a price, they leave. They don't like it or it's too high, they just leave. But you're not opening opportunities to negotiate, for people to negotiate with you, opportunity for people to like give you deals, because there's gonna be a lot of vendors, and some vendors, they're kind of lazy, so they price their cards maybe like weeks or months or 6 months or even last year they don't sell. So if a card has like $1,000 price sticker and you comp it and they're like $300, and you ask them, or if they don't have sticker or whatever, and then you ask them and they want $1,000 and you comp it for $300, instead of not saying anything, how about you say, hey, so do you have any room on this card? Because I'm looking at the comp here and it looks like it's down a little bit. So this card you're asking $1,000, it looks like they're doing $300. Would you have any room on it? Most of the time the vendor will go down from the first price. They might be like, best I can do is 500, or they can match it for you $300 on that comp. You never know. You gotta open the negotiation. You gotta open room for people to change their mind. So I think just talking with the vendors and trying to make way for deals is always good. So what I personally like to do is I'll go up to a vendor. If there's cars I'm interested in, I'll ask them, hey, how are you doing today? How's your show been for you? Where are you out of? So I live in Tennessee. Where are you from? They'll tell me where they're from. Have a little conversation, build a relationship there, and then they'll be 99% of the time they will be more willing to work with you once you build a relationship there, instead of just going up be like, how much is this, and just walk away. Like, you're just like a blip, like a second in their life. Like, they're not going to remember who you are most of the time if you don't build up that relationship and that connection. And you know what, sometimes when you don't, when you do, like, ask them how they are doing, have small talk, seeing how they are, even if you don't do a deal that day, maybe later on, next time, some people will remember you and ask you how you're doing. And then maybe there's other stuff they want to sell to you, or maybe they'll buy some stuff from you. You never know. It's always great to make relationship, especially in business where you're in sales. All right, so going back to, not ending the conversation too early. See, if you're trying to sell a card, right, and somebody lowball you, say, I have this Pokemon card, it's worth $200, right? And then I go up to a vendor like, hey, would you be interested in this? And they'll offer you like $10. Instead of getting offended, being like, no, what the hell? I'm not gonna lie, I've been in those situations before when people just lowball the crap out of you, and your first reaction be like, no, what the hell? I totally understand that reaction, but try to just like either don't flip out on them, or just like take your time, pause, look at them, and then throw out your offer where you want to be at. Say if this car is $200, they offer you $10. Just look at them like that. And then if you're willing to let this go for 120, be like, would you take 120 for it? So when you do that, it doesn't end the conversation, right? When you just say no and just like get offended, it just ends the whole entire conversation. So you're not gonna be able to move the card. But if you counter them with a number 120, they'll be able to think about it, and then they'll either counter you or they'll say they're not interested in the card, which is fine. If they're not interested in, we move on, go to the next person. Also, if this card is $200, you're not getting $200 for this card. No vendor will pay you full price for a card that costs for $200, because there's literally no room in there. If they buy it for $200, nobody's gonna pay them $200. If it costs for $200, they're gonna negotiate down to like $190 or $180, right? So you gotta leave a little bit of room for the vendor. So if you don't think you can get the max value cash wise for your card, how about you trade? So if you see some cards that you rather have that they own, be like, hey, this card comes for $200. Would you be willing to do some trade? Maybe you add some cash on some smaller card that I want from you, or I can add some cash onto this and get something else. I like to trade at big shows, especially at the National, because a lot of vendors aren't going to give you the max cash price for your cards unless it's something very rare, like a 1 of 1, a very hot card, out 10, stuff like that, or cards with really no comp where you can just make your own price. So that is one thing that I like to do when I'm making deals. Next, what I'm bringing to the National. So I like to have a little bit of everything in my inventory. I like to have sport cards, football, basketball, baseball, a little bit of vintage, of course Pokemon as well, because you never know who's gonna want what. Some people might only do Pokemon only, some people might only do vintage only, some people might only do football only. So it's good to have a little bit of everything, and there's gonna be hundreds of thousands of people there, so why not do a deal with everybody in there? Maximize your time and profit, right? So I would like to bring a little bit of everything with me. Of course, it's the biggest car show of the year, so I'm gonna be bringing the highest value stuff that I gonna have. Of course, I'm gonna bring cash so I can buy and flip cars as well, and I am going to bring my number one inventory this National is football cards. Football cards, football cards, football cards. For one, the biggest deals I've ever done at a National was involving football cards. Two, it is about to be football seasons. The beginning of football season, so everybody's gonna want football. It's off season for basketball and baseball. It's like the mid season, so nobody's gonna really be worrying about baseball cards really. So football card is gonna be the hottest thing throughout the weekend in the national. For football stuff, of course, you want the rookies, the quarterbacks, and of course the GOATs like Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. The rookie stuff, you want the newer players like right now, as of 2025, you want Jaden Daniels, right? You want JJ McCarthy's. You want the hot guys like Josh Allen's. He's always been pretty popular throughout the national. Tua has been kind of hard to move for me the last 3-4 years. Lamar Jackson just won a MVP, so his price is a little bit high right now. If you want to get into it, up to you. But Lamar Jackson is fairly cheap compared to other quarterbacks, in my opinion. Jalen Hurts, his stuff, he just won a Super Bowl, so his stuff is pretty high. But for a guy that won a Super Bowl, his prices aren't really that expensive. And if you want, like, maybe take a risk on some guys, like Trevor Lawrence, his stuff is down a lot because, injury problems, and they're not really making the playoffs. So if you want to take a risk and get in at low, Trevor Lawrence might be a good pickup. Last thing, my advice for the national this year is take advantage of the trade nights. The national have the best, the biggest, the craziest trade nights ever. So I recommend taking advantage of it, and I think they're having like 3 or 4 this year, but usually the biggest one are the one on Thursday nights. So they're gonna have like at least 10,000 people throughout the trade night. And from my experience, what I like to do is I like to do rapid fire deals. So I'll walk around trade nights looking at cars that I like, and I'll try to do as many deals as possible, because unfortunately trade night happens after the show, so it's around like 8 into midnight, 8 p.m. to midnight when the show ends, and a lot of people are gonna be tired. They're gonna be hungry, so they're gonna want to leave. Plus, the trade night closes at midnight, so you only got 4 hours. People staying in line, wait for like 2 hours before trade night even starts to get a spot. So I like to walk around, try and make as many deals as possible. I'll have a whole bunch of cards in my hand, and I'll walk around, be like, "Hey, are you interested? I want this card." So either buy it, or if their price is too high, I'll show them my cards, try to trade, make deal, move to the next person. I like to make at least like 30 deals or more at trade night, and that's exactly what I have been doing. So my advice is take advantage of the trade night. It's free. It's gonna be pretty busy, so if you want a good spot, you gotta get there early. And last year they did like something, you go in front and then you get like a wristband, so you don't have to wait in line. And once the trade night open with the wristband, you can go straight in. But it's pretty crazy the last couple of trade nights, and I highly, highly, highly recommend you going to a trade night because it is the best. But thank you so much for watching my video. Those are my advice for this upcoming national and what I will be doing. Those are my gameplay, my advice, my strategy. So hopefully this gave you some value, and please, if you haven't yet, like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help my channel grow. I really appreciate it. My name is Kenny. I go by Chi and Fire. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at the national. Fire out!